Hey everyone, I hope you guys are enjoying Monster Hunter Rise or Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak in whichever platform you decided to pick it up on. Today I wanted to have a quick discussion regarding the upcoming digital presentation that Capcom went ahead and revealed regarding the 5th free title update. If you hadn't necessarily been paying attention after the most recent Capcom Spotlight, which of course we expected there to be tons of brand new Monster Hunter details, they not only revealed, of course, the release date for April 28th of Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows, but of course, at the back end of the presentation, specifically on the Monster Hunter section of it, they decided to give us details regarding the Nintendo Switch latest information and of course PC Steam as well, regarding the 5th free title update finally being dropped, and they essentially confirmed that they will be hosting a digital presentation in April for the 5th free title update, pretty much giving us all the latest information, all the details that we can expect as part of this final update. I know there's a lot of discussion lately regarding whether this will be the final update or not. There's been plenty of signs and suggested rumors and leaks, quote unquote, kind of like suggesting this was early back in like the 2nd or 3rd free title update for Sunbreak specifically, that we would potentially get a 6th free title update. There was a lot of information regarding that even around the beginning of the year. But now that doesn't necessarily seem to be the case, and this might actually be it. This might actually be the final update, and it's going to be a little bit of a bummer for a lot of people, but of course, all good things must come to an end. There's a reason for that. We can probably discuss that at the back end of the video, but of course, that doesn't necessarily fix everything. So in this video, I kind of wanted to encourage you guys to let me know in the comments what it is that you want to see happen as part of the 5th free title update. What kind of new monsters you want to see added, maybe new decorations. I know there's been a lot of discussion regarding what kind of decorations we should be able to expect based on one of their Capcom digital developer updates that they provided us on. I covered that about a few weeks back, where we're expecting multiple pages of decorations being added in, and of course some pretty good ones making its way, as far as also anomaly investigation levels going up, which is rumored, not confirmed, but of course this is something that we have been kind of expecting to happen pretty much as part of the last free title update. So certainly I encourage you guys to let me know in the comments what it is that you want to see. In this video, I'm not going to get into leaks or anything like that. There's a separate video that I've already fully produced. I'm just waiting to kind of release it at the proper time, discussing pretty much everything that's available in the data mines. I kind of, in this video, just want to discuss the things that I specifically want to see, not necessarily tied to any sort of leaks or any unconfirmed information or anything like that. This is just a kind of like a little bit of my wish list that I want to see some of the changes happening. But of course, like I said, I want to encourage you guys to do let me know what it is that you want to see for yourselves. First and foremost, I just want them to see if this is going to be actually the last and final update, for them to stop making the 5th free title update armors that we are going to get as part of the event quest lineup. We expect there at the very least to be 3 more Frontiers armors to actually make their way as to part of the 5th free title update, for them to just stop being layered armor, and at the very least one of them to have full-on actual stats, maybe, you know, full setup. I know a lot of the armors that they have showcased already, specifically as part of the 3rd and 4th free title update that were part of Frontiers, some of which had full-on skill sets, you know, armor details, resistances, defense, whatever the worst, and they just simply decided to make them layered armor instead. I hope that's not the case this time around. I hope at the very least one of them, maybe not all 3, but one of them ends up being a full-on actual armor set. We're kind of desperate for new armor sets. I know pretty much every armor set that they have added in Sunbreak, it feels like, has been just layered armor post-launch, or if they're adding a new monster, then that new monster brings along with it a new armor set alongside a brand new skill. And that seems to be probably the thing that a lot of people haven't put 2 and 2 together, is that every new monster is tied specifically to a brand new skill in the armor set, and that's probably what makes them a little bit more hesitant to add, you know, Frontiers armors that aren't necessarily tied to unique skills, even from back in the days from that original game. So maybe adding new skills maybe is something too much to ask for them, and they're not willing to go the extra step. That would be my guess, but of course that's still not good enough for a lot of people. So maybe just making some of those layered armors, at the very least one, a full-on actual armor with, of course, layered armor options, would go a long way. My second hope is a pretty simple one. Just give us one event quest, most likely the very first event quest that they go ahead and drop at the very least for Sunbreak 5th free title update. For that event quest to be an anomaly investigation event quest. I don't care against what monster it is, even if it's, you know, Kuluyaku or whatever. But as long as that quest has multipliers so you can get more experience as you're farming that anomaly investigation quest, so you can grind anomaly investigation levels a little bit faster. That would go a long way. It would get a lot of those players who are not necessarily up to par, maybe, you know, who have not been keeping up. Maybe they're still in the early 100s, maybe they're in the mid 150s, 160s. I'm like 163 right now, anomaly investigation. Maybe just help us a little bit to get to the pretty much previous level cap at that point in time, 220. But of course, we expect the level cap to go up a little bit more as well, whether it is 240, 250, or maybe even 300. We don't know that yet. And it would be nice to see if they just give us at the very least one anomaly investigation event quest with quest multipliers, so we can actually get double rewards, double experience, and it would be an easy monster that everyone can farm relatively quickly. And it's just understood, this quest is not for rewards, this quest is not for, like, you know, money or anything like that. This is a straight up grind quest. You're doing this quest multiple times just so you can level up a little bit faster, you know, and you don't have to do a 15-minute, you know, double monster anomaly investigation tier 8 event quest or anything like that. No, it's just a tier 1 with multiple, you know, boosters, so you can actually take this thing down pretty quickly. You know, it goes down relatively fast, and you can grind this stuff to be able to get the levels. Maybe eventually it just kind of gives you not a good enough experience after 220, 230, whatever the case is, maybe even after 200, and then you go back to doing the normal quest. But of course, you know, just a simple quest where everyone can grind it, get those anomaly investigation points, and finally get closer to or maybe hit level cap. That would go a long way. Another thing I would love to see them do, but if they haven't necessarily done it by now, I don't know when they will, and that is address some of those save corruption issues. I've made, I think now, maybe 4 to 5 separate videos discussing save corruption on multiple platforms. Originally it was an issue on the Nintendo Switch back on Base Rise, certainly was on Base Rise on PC Steam. They fixed it on the Nintendo Switch. They didn't address it on PC Steam. Sunbreak dropped on the Nintendo Switch and PC Steam. They addressed it on the Switch again. They still left it alone on PC Steam, and now PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows players are dealing with the same corruption issues or variations thereof. PlayStation players, they allegedly were fixed, but we don't necessarily have any true confirmation on that. Xbox has had less of them, kind of like on the Nintendo Switch concurrently, but PC Windows, PC Steam, and a little bit of PlayStation right now has had just continual issues with save corruption, where if you're not manually backing up your save data, chances are eventually it's going to say that it's corrupted and you lose access to your character, and even cloud backup saves will not save you. Your save is just corrupted for whatever reason, and it's not fixable. A lot of people have said it may be the mods. Well, PlayStation and Xbox don't have mods. Nintendo Switch don't have mods. So you can have you know, a modded console or whatever and play that, but most people don't. You know, there's like 16 million players or so playing Rise and Sunbreak. Not every one of those 60 million players have a modded console, and even then we see plenty of corruption issues on those platforms. So, you know, hopefully that's finally addressed in the last final update. And of course, finally, the final thing that I do wish for the most, probably the most I've been wishing for since Sunbreak was revealed, and of course we had a little bit of information regarding what we could expect heading into Sunbreak, and that is of course Amatsu. Yes, this one specifically is directly tied to the mining, to the leaks and stuff like that, but I think it's been too long of a wait. It's been too long of just expectations. Just we keep waiting for this thing to eventually drop. It finally will. Obviously that's going to be part of the update, but of course it's just one of those things where, like, I just don't know why it took so long. I think the fact that Volcana was one of those monsters that we were expecting relatively early on, they decided to just give us Risens and other monsters. Maybe Lucid Nargacuga could have been pushed back a little bit further. Maybe Flaming Espinas could have been pushed back a little bit further, and they give us access to these monsters a little bit sooner. You know, would have gone a long way. I think Sunbreak lost a lot of its luster. A lot of people decided to just kind of step away from the game because of the lack of addition of true new monsters instead of just such species, or rare species, or whatever the wording you want to put, instead of just true new monsters being added in. And we haven't had any, realistically speaking. These are returning monsters from previous other games, but any sort of true new monster, we have not had it in Sunbreak. And that's been a little bit of a criticism, a fair criticism might I add, from players regarding pretty much everything we have seen with Monster Hunter, and the 5th free title update will not be addressing that, unless of course there's something that just completely drops out of nowhere and we didn't see it coming. But that's pretty much all my expectations, and hopefully I hear your guys' expectations regarding the 5th free title update and everything we can expect to see there. Like I mentioned at the top of the video, I will have a separate video discussing pretty much everything on the data mines. I didn't go over everything here. Of course, there's plenty of updates that we can expect, and of course, when we get the true confirmation of when this presentation is set to drop, I will be discussing that further as well. If you are brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya!